soccer league in the world. So similar to my NFL videos, I will be looking at the upcoming games, and this will be for match week 12. So I will look at the games and give you guys some predictions for what I think is going to happen. So without further ado, I'm going to open up our trusty notebook here. You can see my former prediction video pages. There we are. Fresh new page. So the games normally are on Saturdays and Sundays, and then maybe a game or two on a Friday or Monday. But this week we have a couple of games Tuesday, which is tomorrow. I'm recording this on Monday. We have some games on Tuesday, some more on Wednesday, and then some on Thursday. So this match week is a weekday type of match week, and then there are more matches on the weekend for match day 13. Starting us off Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. These are Eastern Standard Time times. The first game of the match week. We have Brighton and Hove Albion versus Nottingham Forest. Currently, Brighton are 7th in the Premier League. There are 20 teams in the Premier League, and Brighton are currently 7th. And Nottingham Forest is currently in last place. Brighton has 14 points, and Forest have 5. Again, for those of you who don't know, in the Premier League you get 3 points for a victory, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. All matches go 90 minutes, and there is no extra time or penalties. If it ends in a draw, you get 1 point apiece. Brighton is home for this match, and I think that they are going to win, even despite they have a bit of a slip of form after their coach moved to Chelsea a couple weeks ago. I still think they take care of business at home versus the worst team in the league. I'm going to go with a 2-0 victory for Brighton at home. And last week, I should mention, Brighton lost 2-0 at Brentford, and Forest lost 1-0 at Wolves. So both teams coming off losses, but I think Brighton are able to bounce back here. Next up, we have Crystal Palace versus Wolves. Currently, Crystal Palace are in 13th with 10 points, and Wolves are 17th, just outside the relegation zone, with 9 points. And the relegation zone, for those who don't know, are the bottom 3 teams in the Premier League at the end of each season get relegated down to the second tier, which is the Championship. And then the top 3 teams from, well, technically the top 2. And then there's a playoff between 4 other teams, and the winner of the playoff gets promoted with the 2 leaders. So 3 go up and 3 go down each season. Nottingham Forest, who we talked about just a moment ago, is a recently promoted team this year. But it looks like they're already going to go right back down. So we have Palace home to Wolves. I think Palace win 1-0. Wolves, a team who typically don't score a lot of goals and play pretty defensive. But I think being at home, Palace is able to push one past them and take the victory. Last week, Crystal Palace and drew Leicester City 0-0. And as we just mentioned, Wolves won 1-0 against Nottingham Forest. Arsenal were meant to play Man City this week, but it was postponed, which is a shame because that would be a really good match between the league's top 2 teams. But instead, we have the next match, which now is in, these are the Wednesday matches now. We have Bournemouth versus Southampton. Bournemouth, like Forest, are a recently promoted team. They're currently sitting in 10th place with 13 points. And Southampton are currently in 18th place with 8 points. This game is in Bournemouth. Last week, Southampton tied West Ham 1-1, and Bournemouth drew Fulham 2-2. We have both teams coming off a draw going into this match. I think Bournemouth are going to win this one at home 2-1. Actually, surprisingly, has a -12 goal differential, which is the second worst in the league, yet they are in 10th place, so that's a bit surprising. Although I do think they lost like 6 or 7-1 in one match, so that probably doesn't help the goal differential too much. points, but they have been able to score quite a bit. And Southampton has not been great this season, so I think Bournemouth win at home 2-1. Next up is Liverpool versus West Ham. Liverpool is currently in 8th with 13 points, and West Ham is in 12th with 11 points. Liverpool is coming off a big 1-0 victory versus Man City over the weekend. That was a bit of a surprising result since Liverpool have not been in great form recently, and Man City are arguably the best team in the world. And West Ham drew 1-1 against Southampton. Liverpool being at home and coming off the big win, I think they carry the momentum in against West Ham, who just drew against a mediocre Southampton team. I think Liverpool win 3-1. It will be interesting to see maybe how the squads are managed this week. There's a pretty quick turnaround time between games. You had the games over the weekend. So Liverpool, for instance, played Sunday, then they play Wednesday, and then they play again on Saturday. So that's 3 games in less than a week. So it'll be interesting to see how the managers manage the squads for these games. Although, for teams like Liverpool, it's really no different than when they play in the Champions League or Europa League midweek and have to play 3 games a week regardless. 3-1 Liverpool for that match. And we'll move on to Brentford versus Chelsea. Brentford won against Brighton 2-0 last week. And Chelsea beat Aston Villa 2-0 as well. Chelsea are currently 4th with 19 points. And Brentford are currently 9th with 13 points. Brentford have been a bit of a surprise since they got promoted to the Premier League a couple of years ago, landing about mid-table each of the seasons that they've been in, which is pretty impressive for a team who just got promoted. I think promoted for the first time in their history as well, so good for Brentford. Playing at home versus Chelsea. Chelsea, I think, are 5-0 since taking manager Graham Potter from Brighton. And I'm going to take them to win again here on the road. 2-1. For Chelsea. Next up we have Newcastle versus Everton. Newcastle are currently 6th with 15 points. And Everton are 14th with 10 points. Last week, Newcastle tied Manchester United 0-0, and Everton lost 2-0 against Tottenham. Newcastle have looked pretty good since being bought by the Saudi ownership group, kind of like what happened with Manchester City years ago, and I'm sure they'll just continue to improve with all of that money that they have much. I don't think Everton is very good. I think Newcastle also beats them 2-0 at home. Everton almost got relegated last year and didn't do much to improve their squad. They actually lost one of their better players in Richarlison during the last signing window. So I don't have too high of hopes for Everton. The last Wednesday game is Manchester United versus Tottenham. I must admit, Tottenham is my favorite club, so I will be picking them to win here. Maybe a little bias. I think they win 2-1 on the road versus United, who have not looked. They've had an interesting season. I'll say that. They hired Erik ten Hag as their manager, and they've had ups and downs. They're currently sitting 5th on the table with 16 points. And Tottenham are 3rd with 23 points. And as I just mentioned, United drew 0-0 last week with Newcastle, and Tottenham beat Everton 2-0. And I just realized I highlighted the wrong team here. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. United have given Arsenal their only loss of the season, but then have dropped points to teams that they really shouldn't have. So they're a bit of a mixed bag at this point. But I think Tottenham get the win away from home, although they haven't been very good away from home this season. But as a supporter, I have to go with them to win. Next up is Fulham versus Aston Villa. Fulham are currently 11th with 12 points, and Aston Villa are 16th with 9 points. Last week, Fulham drew 2-2 with Bournemouth, and Aston Villa lost 2-0 to Chelsea. This is the first Thursday game, going at 2:30 p.m. I think this is going to be a draw. 1-1. I guess neither team gets a highlight here. I'll highlight down the middle. And the last game of match week 12 is Leicester versus Leeds. Leeds are 15th with 9 points, and Leicester are 19th with 5 points. A bit of a surprising year from Leicester. They're usually Champions League or Europa League contenders within the first 5 or 6 places of the Premier League, but this year find themselves in second to last place so far. Last week, Leeds lost 1-0 against Arsenal at home, and Leicester tied Crystal Palace 0-0. I think this is going to be another draw. I'm going to go 1-1 once again. I think Leicester find one at home, but Leeds have a pretty good offense with their press style of play, and I think they steal one on the road, and they share the points. So that's it for the match week 12 matches in the Premier League. These are my predictions. Let me know what you think, where I went wrong. And also, please let me know if you enjoy this video. I know that people watch me for my NFL videos, so I'd be interested to see if a Premier League video like this has any traction and has any interest, and if it does, I can keep doing them for each match week. I'll have the NFL videos coming out in the next couple of days before the Thursday night game. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe to help support the channel. We've been getting a lot of support recently, which I really appreciate. The views and the likes and the comments are all encouraging signs for me to keep making these videos every week. If I do the Premier League videos, that'll be up to at least 3 videos per week. So I appreciate all the support I've been getting. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.